Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. Now, let me tell you, if you missed my last Antarchy episode, first of all, shame on you. You need to lock in. Second of all, we are talking about men's mental health awareness today. Now, focusing on the awareness because the month of November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men's Mental Health Month is in June. But today, I have two people that will help me talk about men's mental health awareness. And hopefully, after you hear these conversations and these actual thoughts from strong men from around you, then maybe you'll have a different thought about it. So let's bring them on, Mr. Dixon and Oren, to the stage. And we're here to talk about men's mental health. Boys, how are we feeling?
Blessed and highly favored.
Feeling good, brothers. Feeling good, man. Pleasure to join you gentlemen tonight.
Good. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Now, I know for some people that did say that did watch the last Antarchy episode, I did say that I was gonna have a full panel full of people and they were gonna come in and talk about it. But some people want to drop out last minute. Some people weren't gonna be available. So just pretend that you're thinking about it at home. So you at home and you in the comments, you can join the conversation whenever you want to. When you hear the question, drop your answer down in the comment section below, and we will read your comments out loud and give our real thoughts and conversations to those. So, fellas, here's our first question. Like I said pre-show, I'm gonna give you 3 questions. They're all gonna be deep because it's about men's mental health awareness. So, here's the first one. At what point did "I'm good, bro" stop being the truth? Because we know as a man, I'm gonna go first with this one. As a man, I know when I tell people my feelings, or when they say, "Hey, Anthony, what's wrong? Hey, Anthony, are you good? Hey, Anthony, what's bothering you?" I always reply with, "I'm good." And the reason why I reply with "I'm good" is because I don't want to bother anybody with my problems. I don't want to explain what I'm feeling, and then when it comes out, it sounds dumb. But I know it's a big deal to me. But if I explain it to someone else and be like, "Oh, that's not a big deal," I don't want nobody to minimize my feelings or kind of belittle what I'm thinking about and what I'm feeling towards the situation. So when "I'm good" becomes the truth, I truly mean I'm good. I'm not asking for help. I don't want no help. I'm just saying I will figure it out on my own. I will do it by myself. So I'm good, and I'm gonna leave the rest to God.
All right.
So, Mr. Dixon, based off of that answer and whatever you want to add to yours, what has "I'm good, bro" ever became the truth for you?
The truth. To be honest, "I'm good, bro" hasn't been the truth for me since my mom passed back when I was 3 going on 4. I've always dealt with trying to understand what I was feeling ever since I was a kid. It's just something that I've dealt with, and it caused me to lash out at people. It caused me to mishandle relationships. It caused me to go to different vices. But "I'm good, bro." And I believe this is for a lot of people, men and women, but specifically men. It's not the truth because of very much what Mr. Greenfield was just saying. They don't want to bother people. But for me, it's people don't understand me. They don't. My pastor don't want me saying I'm weird, but I'm a unique individual. I'm different. I've never fit in with even my own family. I stand out. I'm a black sheep. So me talking about my problems, what I'm feeling, most people they do minimize what I'm feeling. They make it feel small, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm good, bro. Like even at times, in relationships, my girl has minimized what I'm feeling. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to take that to God and trust that He's going to work it out.
That sounds like a great response, and I'm telling you, that phrase "I'm good, bro" it's so universal for us men, and I'm starting to see through our students at least for the ones that I had last year and the ones I have. And I'm pretty sure maybe you see in some of the sixth graders, but I'm starting to see in some of the eighth graders that they say I'm good, bro, because they don't want to talk about anything. But then
Yeah.
again, they're middle schoolers, so even the smallest thing sets them off, whether
Hmm.
they have a mental disorder or not.
Hmm.
But as a man, when they get into high school, get to the real world, college, workforce, or whatever, when they start saying that I'm good, bro, I think that's starting to be wraps, and they're almost mentally shut down. So you know what? I don't want to leave Oren out of this conversation because I know he has a few gems for us because he's a few generations older. So Oren, if you had the phrase "I'm good, bro," is it the truth or are you holding something back?
Yeah, I'll tell you this much, man. I was sitting listening to, and I put me on. I want to see everybody. I like to be able to see everybody when I'm talking more than being on a solo shot. Appreciate it, OJ. My question for you gentlemen would first be this: if y'all don't mind sharing with me what your ages are.
I'm 29.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
24.
24. Okay, so I'm double your age, Anthony, to the literally, and I have
Mm-hmm.
you by knocking at 20, right, give or take, Mr. Dixon. So I've been probably using that phrase, man, for as long as I can remember. Your generation put the bro on it, right? For us, it was just, man, I'm good, you know, and then the closest we may get to, if somebody is to check in with us, it may be that they may look at us, and if they feel like they see something different, you good. And more times than not, we'll say, yeah, 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 I'm good, I'm cool, I'm cool. And ever so often, you'll have somebody say, nah, something looks a little different. So that individual, you assume that maybe you could disclose a little bit. You could be able to let down a little bit of the barrier. And depending upon however low you let it or however much you let out, you'll gauge it, right? And that comes from experiences, and that's why I say, I'm knocking at 50. So that comes from experiences over a 20, 30, borderline 40-year just experience of going through things and then wondering what does it look like to have people that care, right? That care to inquire. And when you have those experiences that happen when you're young, right? I would say that, a lot of mine happened well before I was double digits. So when you grow to then know that very few people you meet in this life, man, that care, want to know what you're going through and how to help you get through what you're going through. So I say that to say this. Yes, clearly. I won't even say I've used it. I'll say I used that phrase. And uh, if I had to say out of 100% to how much of when I use that phrase am I not telling the truth, I would say probably more like 95. Maybe 5% is when I'm probably good in regards to where as though I feel like all things are lined up and in balance is there. But more times than not, man, when we say I'm good or everything's cool or whatever the case may be, the older you get, and it does not make it right, because we're going to touch on some of the things that are the statistics of how men respond to their mental health, and then in turn, why is that it's a 49% out of 100 that more men experience depression, right? It's because we really don't feel like anybody wants to hear. If we share with anybody what we're going through, we unfortunately we have to think about how is it going to be used against us, when is it going to find itself back up, and instead of it being something that someone comes to our aid or our assistance. So more times than not, we'll just say, no, I'm good. And that's why I want to go back to the beginning of what I said. Ever so often in life, you'll find somebody that will look through you, not just look at you, and want to see what it is that they feel like they see that you're saying I'm good, wanting to know really what does that mean? What does that look like? And will you tell them more? And it shouldn't have to be a therapist. It shouldn't have to be a counselor. And although that's my field, but I always say we should not have a job. I'm gonna be real. Who it is that we should be able to confide in should be family. And I'm doing family with air quotes because family is just a title. At the end of the day, when does family really show up and show that they care to want to be able to help you through whatever you're going through?
Hmm.
Right. But it's something that I'll just say, and then I'll put a pin in it for right now. More times than not, the reason that most people don't talk, especially men, is because we're expected to provide the foundation as well as the covering for everybody to be able to feel safe and secure, and no one asked what does that look like for us. So last week, Roman, I shared, I said envision or see men metaphorically like a well. And if everybody's expected to be able to come to that well to drink from, who's refilling that well? So if the well never has somebody that cares to want to make sure that that well has water in it, the people that come to it to drink from it never think about that that well can run dry,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when it runs dry, unfortunately, it's the well's problem. It's the well's fault. Why are you dry? Why don't you have any water that I can drink from? Instead of, I never thought about that. That you actually need to have water poured into you, or you need to have some form of now. And I love the fact that Roman, like you said, man, I would agree 1,000%. If it wasn't for Jesus, man, at the end of the day, He is who refills our well. So He's the only source that we ought to be focused on. But the other side of it is that we do actually still live with human beings, so we should be able to feel some sense or some form of refueling that happens from time to time. So that's why I said earlier, like I said, I want to figure out how to tonight speak with a little bit of brevity, but I wanted to be able to spend a moment and say that right quick, because that kind of breaks down my response to when we say I'm good, are we really? And if we say, watch this, if we say, no, I'm not, how many people do we know that'll say, hold on for a second, you're not? Okay, give me a moment. Let me stop whatever it is that I was just doing, or let me cancel my appointments, and let me spend some time with you to figure out what's going on, so that you don't self-destruct.
And I think that's important
Yes.
because those people that care, like they're the reason why some people, even as young men, don't commit suicide.
Hey,
And I'm
speak on it,
speaking
brother.
from experience. Like I was suicidal, but there
Mm-hmm.
was people in my life. Thankfully, I had a praying grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I had a couple friends that was like, "Hey, yo, I want you here."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like those people are few and far in between, but when they do pop into your life, you have to keep them around. You have to cherish them. You have to also pour back into them.
There you go. Because they also need someone, just like we need
Yep.
someone. Yep. Well said. Well said, brother. Well said. Well said.
Hey, look, this is going to be a heavy conversation for those of you listening at home, those watching at home. I hope you have something to say down in the comments below. Because listen, here are real thoughts and conversations. Your thoughts do matter. Your opinions do matter. We would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. So go ahead and tell us, what do you think? When you say the word "I'm good, bro," what do you really mean by that? Are you actually good? Or are you saying that so people can just stay out of your business? I know some people can say "I'm good, bro," just because they don't want to talk about it. Other people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm really good. There's nothing that's really bothering me." But sometimes "I'm good, bro" can be like a band-aid, like putting a band-aid on a cracked dam, like covering water.
I
That
like that analogy.
small little word is doing so much power.
Mm-hmm.
But once you take off that band-aid, everything is flooding.
Mm-hmm.
And once everything is flooding, who's going to drown and who's actually going to tread water? Who's
So
actually going to sit there and listen to you?
speak on that. Keep
Yes.
going with that.
Who's
Keep
actually
going with
going to
that.
sit there? Who's actually going to sit there and actually listen to you, what you're trying to say? Or who's just
Mm-hmm.
going to be like, oh, okay, well, you should do this. Oh, well, you should go see this person. You should go see this. You should go see that person. You should go through this. First of all, I may not want solutions all the time. I may not want to go see a therapist or go see the guidance counselor or go talk to this person. No, sometimes I just want to vent my problems and get it out. I want to be heard.
I was going to say
I
that
want to be
word.
heard. And you know what? And you know what? I want to since Roman shared something, I'm gonna share something too. Um,
And I
I
think
had
Roman
a
got something for
conversation
when
with
you
my
said that word heard too. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that.
yeah. I had a conversation with my father the other day. And for people that don't know, it's a little special episode. Me and my dad, we haven't been on the best terms lately because I want to feel heard at home. I don't feel heard enough at either my, well, maybe at some of my jobs. I don't feel heard, but when I come home, I want to feel heard. I want to be a man, and a man is respected in his home, is he not? A
Mm-hmm.
man is respected in his house, is he not?
Yep.
So if
Well, the
my
older you
dad
get,
wants me to be the man of the house at some point,
okay,
if
all
my
right.
dad wants me to be the man that I'm growing up to be, I at least want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Now we had a conversation about me wanting to be heard. And it was a really nice conversation because he actually heard every single thing I said. He never cut me off. He didn't have to stop me and put in his point and do this and that. He let me get everything out. So that's why it's very important to when I say, I can't speak for Roman and Oren and all the other stuff, but I can speak for me. I want to be heard because my opinion is just as important as the man next to me. My words is just as important as somebody that I'm standing in front of. My word is no different than someone who is higher than me, someone who's lower than me, someone who's the same as me. It doesn't matter because my opinion is still equal. It may not be on track or maybe left field or whatever, but I'm trying to tell you, my opinion matters, and I want to be heard. I hate it when people cut me off. I hate it when people talk over me. I hate it when people don't listen to my words and they just do what they want to do. Actually, what I do is I talk about my problems and I only tell my problems to people who actually want to listen. I know the difference between someone that's wanting to talk about problems over someone that's like, oh, I just want to be nosy. I just want to know what's up with you. But then they don't help anything. Like those people waste my time. I don't like that. If you're actually going to help me, I want you to actually sit there and listen.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into the next question, Dixon, you had something you want to say? And then Oren and we'll go to the
Yeah,
next question.
yeah. I love that you mentioned hurt,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it goes deeper than that. I think it's more of being listened to, be understood, because I can hear everything that you say. But if I'm not listening to you, I'm not actually retaining the information. I'm not actually having thoughts of, oh, maybe I can help this. What about this suggestion that could possibly be a effect? Oh, maybe he just wants me to listen. Because there's a difference between listening and hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard everything you just said, right? And everyone who's going to watch this recording heard you, but I can say roughly about 5%, if
Mm-hmm.
not smaller, actually listened to what you said, even when you were talking about your father,
Mm-hmm.
even when you were saying, hey, this is what I need, this is what I don't like. Because to hear you, you can say, hey, I don't like when people cut me off. I heard you, but if I'm not listening, I'm gonna cut you off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
important as men that we are not only heard, we're listened to and understood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy as we talk about men's mental health that as men, we are seen as providers, we're seen as protectors,
Mm-hmm.
and we're supposed to protect our women, our children, our loved ones, even our family and our parents when they get up in age. But when we go through things, when the weight of the world is on our shoulders, and I've cried out to God, be like, what about me? Who there for me? Seriously, I
Mm-hmm.
could be the biggest CEO ever,
Mm-hmm.
but in my head, everything is just going and going and spiraling. What if this? What if this? What if that? What if that? Oh my gosh, I got this deadline. I got that deadline. And we are losing it. And it's not just the men, it's our children as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have to listen to our children, our students. We have to build that rapport where they feel comfortable and safe coming to us. Like Oren said, those few people are few and far in between that genuinely care.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to care? To genuinely hold someone's needs higher than your own. Like it's crazy how the world has this perception and place this image of men always having to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Always. But women can, break down whenever it needs to be. And it's not a shot to the women. It's not. It's not a shot to the children. It's not. But The thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a movement called the Me Too movement, and that was a female movement.
Hmm.
But what about a Me Too movement for us men? What
Hmm.
about a Me Too movement when we are badgered and yelled at and mistreated?
Emasculated.
Yes, emasculated.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. As a man,
Hmm.
like being 100%, my former stepmother, my former stepbrother, and my former stepsister told me that I am not good enough. They told me I was going to end up in jail. They told me that I was not going to become anything.
Wow.
They told me that at 10,
Mm.
11, and 12 years old.
That's
Now,
terrible.
that's me. What do you think some of our kids are experiencing?
Hmm.
Some of them ain't even got fathers in their lives or mothers in their lives.
Right.
And or their parents may be bitter and angry at their child's father or mother. We have to have a safe space for us men, yes. But we also have to be that example of a safe space for our students and children.
Well said, man. Well said. I'll tell you to follow the both of you gentlemen. I want to start first with Anthony. First, I want to apologize, man, because I did actually cut in one time because I get excited sometime, right? When I hear young men get to sharing. So I want to apologize to you in regards to that because I was not at all trying to cut you off to not hear what you had to say. But I appreciate that fact that you spoke to that because one thing that is important, and then I want to tie in something in Roman that you just said, is that men that don't speak, men that stop speaking are little boys that were never heard
Mhm,
or listened to.
mhm,
So, when you said that in regards to your students and the children, a lot of times we forget that they have feelings and they go through things. And sometimes we have a way that we inquire about what's going on with them. But do we position ourselves to provide that safe space, like you were mentioning, for them to be able to know that if it's something that you need to talk about, you can come to me? And what makes that difficult and what makes that challenging as we become adults is because we have so much more of just things coming at us all at once that we're
mhm,
trying to figure out how to manage, right? So it's something that is going to be a continuation of trying to figure out how to balance and manage. But now I want to touch on, and I'm glad that you broke down the difference in hearing and listening. I say this all the time. So you gentlemen have never heard me say this, but anybody that I may talk to or listens to me knows that one of my favorite verses, one of my favorite scriptures is James 1:19. Be quick to listen and slow to speak,
mhm,
so that you're slow to become angry.
mhm,
And the interesting thing about what it is that we fail to realize is that most of the time people aren't listening to when someone's speaking. They're hearing what they're saying, just like you said, Roman. They're hearing, but they're hearing to respond, not listening to receive, and then in turn figure out how to respond in the way that the person that they're talking to can know that this person heard me. They listened to what I just said. So now, real quick, touching on where Anthony, you spoke about in reference to your dad. I sat back and I sat back because I wanted to make sure I could be present in what it was that you were speaking to and how significant it is to you that the relationship that you and your father have right now is at a place of where you need to know that he hears you, that your presence matters. So because it's three of us here, it's important for us to make sure that we hear you. So that's why I love the fact that Roman pointed that out. Because these are the times of whenever men speak, all it takes is one time for us to feel like whoever and whatever it is that is the platform of such of where we're speaking, let us not feel like what we just said was heard, was shut down. We'll go right back into the fact that, oh man, ain't nobody listening, and we'll be just like this. We'll just say, I'm hearing. So appreciate your vulnerability, Anthony. Appreciate you, Roman, for pointing it out in regards to making sure that he could know that we heard him. And that's why I wanted to start off by saying I apologize because I did not want you to think that I wasn't listening because I was. Because that is if I had to say my number one biggest pet peeve is that. on a personal level, but also on a professional level. That's why I pride myself, and I only use the word pride in a humbling way to say, whenever somebody is speaking, I make, especially within, when I'm working in regards to if I'm working with clients, but that individual knows that I'm listening. So 9 times out of 10, whenever somebody's talking, I never think about what I have to do next, where it is that I'm about to go, or whoever it is that's waiting on me. All of that can wait. Why? Is because we never think about what really a listening ear can do to a situation. Roman, you spoke about suicide. If we were to really think about how many people, if we want to go to statistics and look at the numbers of because we're just talking about men's mental health, right? Awareness. If we look at the
Mm-hmm.
numbers of men that commit suicide in a year, think about how many of them, those men's lives that would have been saved if just one person listened, if just one person paid attention.
Hmm.
So now I want to go on this, and then I'm gonna put a pin in it. And Anthony, you take us into the next. But I want to say this: when you spoke about both of you spoke about the students, the youth, young people.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been that before. The three of us have been that before. Roman, you spoke about the fact that at 10, 11, or 12, significant people in your life at that time compromised your foundation to be able to feel secure
Hmm.
by saying what they said.
Yep.
Never thinking about the impact that it would have on your life, to where if we fast forward, if you say 11, we just say 18 years later at 29. I can imagine that when you share it, it's still a sense of form of trauma that comes with that. Because for a child to have to figure out what to make of somebody telling them that you're never going to be anything, they don't even know what being anything looks like yet. You get what I'm saying? So if to have to
Yep.
put that into perspective and process that along with trying to figure out whatever it is that you're experiencing, if it's your games or if it's your classes, if it's sport, whatever it is, you haven't even thought about what you want to do with your life. You don't even that's not even in the close of proximity to grab at. So for somebody to say you're nothing or you're never going to be anything, that's at the foundation of the thought process of who am I? What is
Hmm.
my purpose? Why am I here? So appreciate your vulnerability in that as well, Roman, because I pray that the Lord has helped you along your journey to have you to get to a place to where at least you know that you are somebody in Him.
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, that's all that's going to
Amen,
really matter.
brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, we know that it's a lot of other things that come into play that make up the full body, but to the core of what makes us who we are, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Right? So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to make sure we say that. But Anthony, take us into the next thing, because like I said, I can roll because y'all got both of y'all. I love coming behind the two of y'all. Pause, but I like to make sure that in that. No, I had to
Hold
do it because
on, buddy.
I always got to do one a week. I always got to
Whoa.
hold on. I
Okay.
always got to do one a week,
Whoa.
right? I always got to do one a week, man, because I know I had a couple things already.
Ah,
Just to kind of break the ice a little bit,
I,
but
at
we'll say
least
that.
you're catching on to that one. I like
But
that you're catching on to that one.
but I say
I
that
like it.
I say that for the mere fact, man. I enjoy and I appreciate being able to follow the two of you gentlemen at 24 and 29, because it gives me an opportunity to sit back and reminisce and think about some of the things that I know I was going through at both of you gentlemen's age. That a platform of such like this, I could only wish I had.
Mhm.
So throw that back to you, Anthony.
If I
Good.
can make one more
Because
suggestion,
when I tell you when I wanted, go ahead, go ahead,
I was
and
gonna
then we'll move
say,
on.
we definitely should do a part two to this.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Especially during this next month
Hmm.
of mental health awareness. Yes, sir. I'm down. I'm
Uh
with it.
huh.
Yep.
Hmm.
I already. Hey, look, I already have thoughts of getting into part two next week when it actually is November, and
Yeah.
hopefully I'll have more people on coming on next week. But fingers crossed, I'll see. But um, it's so funny because after that first question, we're already at the 30-minute mark. We only did one question
That's all
because
right.
we kind of went over both questions I wanted to ask, but I'll ask them anyway.
Please do.
So the second question, what I wanted to ask was, what is something that you've been taught about being a man that you now realize is hurting your mental health? I the greatest example I have of that is the term man up. Because because me growing up, I heard the term man up so much It was, oh, you're not that. Oh, you're not that hurt. Oh, you're not crying. Oh, it's just a little blister. Oh, it's just a little scrape. You'll be fine. And they're right. I was fine, but at the time, that kind of taught me that, you know what? Probably shouldn't tell anybody about my problems anyway, because who's actually going to listen? Who's going to listen to me? Because if I tell you my problems and you keep telling me to man up, that's not telling me anything. That's just telling me my problems don't matter. Every time I encounter whatever, it's not gonna matter. So if I tell my parents something, if I tell my siblings something, if I tell my friends something, why would I tell a stranger about my problems? Why would I tell my coworker about my problems? So once again, for the people at home and for you two, need to remind before I start going on a rant too.
Take your
What
time.
is something that you've been taught about being a man that you now realize is hurting your mental health?
Man,
Or you want to start with this
No,
one
no,
because Roman started
no.
last one.
Please let Roman go. I
All
need to
right, I
process.
got you. I got you. All right.
long
All
as
right. Dixon,
he's cool with
spotlight's on
going.
you.
Long as you're cool with going first.
hey, I'm always cool, man. Even when I'm not,
Yes, sir.
I'm cool. Um, Something that I was taught was that men are always strong. As a kid, I didn't know what that meant. I thought it just meant like, oh, I got to do a bunch of push-ups. Nah, I was taught that gotta, you don't cry when things happen. You just suck it up and you just take with the blows. Like, and I'm gonna bring it even to a more recent time with me being a minister. You know, last school year, like I said, I was not okay. I was not okay last school year. I'm dealing with 138 kids, plus both of their parents, plus lawyers and administration, dealing with a bunch of IEPs. I was going crazy. I was losing it. I had a lot of seizures. I was like, bro, how the heck am I going to do this? Like, Jesus, what is going on? I remember talking to my pastor and telling him I wasn't going to be at service one Sunday. And he was like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? You know, and I didn't really want to talk, but he kind of forced me to talk. And I'm like, I got a lot on my plate, you know. And you want to know what he said to me? And this statement and this conversation fractured our relationship even to this day. Like, because we were really close, but it fractured our relationship. Now, to give a little context about my pastor, he's married and has 3 kids, you know, and he's a cool dude. He's really cool. He's a strong man of God, and I respect him and I love him. But when I told him what I was going through, he's like, well, I got a lot on my plate too. And now I snapped. Now, Greenfield knows, like, he hasn't known me that long, but he knows I'm rather chill, I'm rather laid back. It takes a lot to get me there.
Hmm.
I yelled at my pastor. I'm like, then you come and do this. You deal with all these kids. You deal with these lawyers. You deal with all this. You come do what I do. You come do it. You got, I understand you're married and you got 3 kids, so you're gonna have a little more on your plate. But that don't mean that I ain't going through it. And I'm serving at my church on a consistent level at that time. I was so angry. My father came out the room, took the phone from me, and talked to my pastor. And then I cried. I'm like, God, is it okay for even me to be feeling this way?
Hmm.
I cried that night. But men aren't supposed to cry, right? You gotta man up. You gotta always be strong. But I'm here to tell all the young men that are watching this, all the older men, that is a lie straight from the pits of hell. You can break down and cry. You can cry to God. You can cry to a trusted friend or family member. Be mindful of who you have surrounding you. Honestly, because there was a story in the Bible of where Jesus was preaching and teaching, and there was a sick man, and his friends literally was carrying him on a pallet, but they couldn't get to Jesus. So they literally got on top of a roof and cut a hole in the roof and lowered him into the presence of Jesus. And he was healed because of their faith and their diligence.
Mm.
So be mindful of who you have around you. Because if you have people like that, you know they got your back. And you have to be the same kind of person for them as well. It's a two-way street. It's no relationships, they want to say it's 50-50. No, it's 100-100.
Every relationship.
Sometimes it's 80-20 because someone's going through it. Sometimes it's 90-90-10. Sometimes it's 70-30.
Hmm.
But you both have to do your best
Hmm.
and put into whether it's a platonic relationship or a romantic one.
Got to show
Man,
up
that
for
got
one
me
another.
sweating out here,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's all good, man. Look, I did, man. Look, I'm listening, bro.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna get wicked in here.
No, it ain't gonna get wicked. Don't use that word. No, it's
Nah,
that's
it's
the
getting
wrong word to use.
holy and
It's
deep in
get
here.
yeah, exactly, exactly. We know what you meant, but not that word. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's
It's getting revealing in here.
Yeah,
Revivalish in here. We'll say.
yeah.
Um. Wow. Hmm. Reason I wanted to go last, and if you could repeat the question for me, because I got so engrossed in to what Roman was saying that I still have my answer, but I want to be able to follow it with the question. So can you give me the question one more time, please?
I got you. What's something you've been taught about being a man at a young age that you now realize it's hurting your mental health?
Hmm.
It don't even have to be at a young age because every day we're all learning something new as a man. So it could be something you learned recently. It could be something you learned in the last 10 years. It could be something that your father, your mother, or whatever relative told you something. But what's something that you were taught as a man that is hurting your mental health?
I'm gonna tell you something funny that you say that, and I'm glad that you added that latter part because what I would have answered it before you added that latter part is I never was taught anything about how to be a man.
Mm.
Never had anybody tell me anything about how to be a man. Never really had a conversation with a man on how to be a man. What I
Mm.
will share is it's a buddy of mine that I grew up with, my neighborhood. I always say, even though he had one of the three, but he had the only father in the neighborhood that I don't want to say was a father to all of us, but I'll say it this way, which he was. But I'll say he was the one that would, you know, allow for his time to be allocated to us, allow for his schedule to be inconvenienced for us. So the watching him just be present was something that I took. But if it was to be that I had something to share to say, what was it that somebody said? Nobody said anything, but I for sure saw a lot. That as I became a man and as I was growing into becoming a man, a father, husband, and then a father four more times, because my wife and I have five kids, figuring out how to navigate and figuring out how to break down the things that I saw that were just a way of life in regards to take flight, um, anything that just said versus get close. So those were some things that I would say had affected me. But, and I'm not saying this to be preachy, but I'm saying this to be real. To God be the glory for an encounter at around about 18 years old that I was able to have, that the Holy Spirit really came in. And I always say that let me know what it was that I needed to let go of so that my life moving forward, going from a boy to a man, had to happen. And what it was that had to happen was that I had to have forgiveness.
Mhm.
Because without it, I would have had no idea of what it meant to be able to love. And I still
Mhm.
don't know what that looks like, to be very honest with you. I'm still trying to figure that out. But to be able to be present enough to know how to be loving, how to be committed, how to be responsible. So that the reason I wanted to answer it in a very organic way versus just exactly to the question is because, like I said, really didn't have much of conversation happening in my life as a kid from a man to me. I can't even think about it, to be honest with you. I probably would have to sit here and ponder for a minute. But when you added the latter part, Anthony, in regards to it doesn't have to be only when you're a kid. It could also be when you were a young man or when you're a man. You saved me on that one because I was like, okay, I've had ever so often. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody say, but no, but real talk. The reason I say that is because that's
Yeah.
something that not a lot of times it goes back to where the both of you all were saying in regards to students and children. Think about it. How many times do we not talk to boys, young men, and say things to them that we know they're going to take it and it's going to be able to be of benefit to them when they get older, which is why we
Hmm.
need to say things, the littlest things sometimes, but something to drop on them for them to be able to be like, yeah, all right. And we know that they may seem to brush it off, but they really didn't because we know what we're saying to them is going to resurface one day and they're going to be like, man, is that what Mr. Dixon was talking about? Is that
It's
what Mr. Greenfield was talking about? Or is that what Mr. O was talking about? Because trust me, you're, they may happen for you gentlemen already, but the older you get, if you do impart in young men's lives, they will ring your phone, knock on your door, and say, I appreciate that. You remember you told me that about 10 years ago? You remember you told me that about 20 years ago? And you might have forgot. They're not going to let you forget because what it was that you said impacted their life in one way or another. So, to your question, prayerfully, it's something that you can impart that they can come back to you years later and say, "Man, I appreciate that."
Hmm.
As well as sometimes it's okay if they come back and say, "Man, why you tell me that?" You know what I mean? Why you set me up for that? You know what I mean? To make the conversation be able to be really organic. You know what I mean? So that's my response to you, to you, Anthony. So that's a powerful question, man. I'm gonna sit with that, and I want to really possibly come back to answer that question with more thought as we go into the part two of this. But thank you for answering that question, man, because you stumped
hey,
a middle aged man
hey,
with that.
yo, hey, Greenfield, hey,
Yeah,
Greenfield.
and honestly, all jokes aside, I tried to come up with some questions that maybe that would have Oren stumped a little bit
Well, you
because
had me on
I
that one.
know how much older Oren is than me. So it's like instead of him just answering the question straight, I want to find a question that like it makes him think.
You did
So
it
I
that one.
know I won.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you look real
I
quick because
know I got him.
I know Roman has some. Please don't let us close the night without that third one because I can't wait another week without knowing what that third one. I know you're gonna have some more for us, but I know we said we're going to end soon. But if it's okay, I want us to be able to still hear that third one. But go ahead, Roman. I know you had something, brother.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Go ahead, Roman.
Hey, Greenfield, didn't you see that today? I forget that kid's name that was dealing with those two girls.
Oh,
Real hot. He was real hot. That
oh,
little conversation I
oh
had
my
with him.
God. When I tell you, it's every single day. Yet this was what's it? It's Tuesday. Going on to Wednesday. I promise you, she's gonna do it again tomorrow. I promise you, she is
Yeah, she
because
may. But what
because
do you remember
Monday.
what I told him though? Do you remember what I told him? I told him that one, women are emotional
I can't remember what
creatures.
you told him because I'm thinking about what I told her.
I told him one that women are emotional creatures.
I'm remembering
Two,
what I told the little girl.
I said two, you're gonna have to deal with women for the rest of your life, even until you get married and whatnot. Three, you have to learn how to control your emotions. Do not give them the response or attention that they are seeking. He was like, and he asked me later on while he was talking to them, he's like, how do you just get them to leave you alone? I'm like, well, sometimes you just ignore them, other times you walk away, remove yourself from the situation, you know?
Best advice. Yeah.
Total best advice.
Stop,
And it's
drop, and
so
roll
funny
like a
because on the
fire.
flip side of
Get out of there.
that,
You got to get out of there sometime.
but look, on the flip side of that, when he was talking to him, I was talking to the girl because that girl, she's been getting in trouble a lot lately, and I noticed it. And it's so funny because every time she would get in trouble, I would be nearby. Now, mind you, sometimes I don't know what she does when she goes to her locker, when she goes to the cafeteria. I don't know what she does, but 9 times out of 10, she will. Oh, not even 9 times, like 25 times out of 10, she will always find her way back to my classroom. No matter what it is, it could be a bathroom break, it could be a mental break, it could be a teacher isn't here and the class are getting split up. She will always find a way to my classroom. I mean, I love it, but it's also like a get out of here. Why are you here? I'm gonna kick you out myself. But I said this to a point, and I actually looked at her today like she was my own daughter because I see her so much, and I deal with her 24/7. There's literally never a mod or a period that I don't talk to her. So what I said to her was this: I noted that you kept getting in trouble lately. Are you okay? Is there anything you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to say? Because I don't know what's going on in her head, in her personal life. I don't know what's going on. So I don't want to come off at her as like, no, 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 no. You can't do this. You can't do that. I don't want to do that. That's for the guidance counselor. That's for the team lead to do that. I don't do that. I'm gonna ask you calmly, hey, is everything good? Then she started rambling. Oh, this one he said that. He said this. He said this. He should have said that. He should never be talking to me. But I noticed that I told her, I said, listen, the last 3 times you got in trouble, or the last 3 times I see you raising your voice to somebody, you inserted yourself when you weren't in it originally. Like the last time she got into an argument with somebody was earlier than that point when you came upstairs, Roman. It was like maybe an hour or two before that. And she inserted herself in a situation that had nothing to do with her, but she tried to calm the situation down, but then she ended up cussing and screaming and ready to swing on somebody. And it's like, what do you even do at that point? So I
Stop,
really
drop, and
had a
roll.
conversation with her. Listen, I really
Get
had a
out of there.
conversation with her, and I told her, and I said, listen, you have to stop inserting yourself because not everybody deserves your words. If your words are precious as you think it is, because every girl nowadays is calling themselves the queen. I get like 200, 300 little girls coming up to me every day saying, Mr. Greenfield, let the queen come in your room. Mr. Greenfield, let the queen get a bottle of water. Mr. Greenfield, let the queen go to the bathroom. And I'm like, there's like 300 different queens in this school. So like, what makes you different? So, so I tell her, and I'm like, hey, if you want to, keep your words precious, why you keep talking to them? Why you keep doing all this other stuff? De-escalate the situation and stop inserting yourself into whatever you're about to get into. So that way you'll stop getting in trouble. I'm gonna put a pin to that because I want to get into the third question. But that's pretty much the basis of what I told her. So this is our final question of the night. And the question is, what is your version of therapy? If you do not talk to a counselor, if you do not go anywhere, do nothing, what is your form of therapy? Now, this question can relate to literally anything. I can say that my therapy is late night gaming sessions, late night watching anime, or it could be gym sessions throughout the evening. It could be, sometimes I take late night drives down 295, 495, down all throughout DC. Late night drives are therapy for me, or maybe just listening to music. I like to get something that I can literally turn my brain off and calm down. So make sure anybody in the comment section, drop down in the comment section below. What is your form of therapy? It can be anything, whatever you want it to be. So now, the same thing we've been doing all night, Mr. Dixon. Go ahead and tell us your form of therapy.
My form of therapy is a multiple of things. Gaming, sleeping, screaming in the shower because I'm frustrated, crying. But one thing I found to be the most effective for me has been reading my Bible and praying, honestly. And it's helped me to become closer to God. And it's not something that the world has, like how the world perceives it. It's not like a, oh, you're just reading your Bible, you're just reading. No. I'm trying to hear the word of God. I'm trying to have him to wrap his arms around me in his word and to comfort me, to relieve me of whatever I'm dealing with. Like he literally says in his word, he will keep you in perfect
Peace.
peace
Hmm.
if your eyes are stayed on him.
Yeah.
That means focus on God. Like this world is gonna throw rocks, bricks, cinder blocks at you and try to knock you off kilter. But if your eyes are focused on him, he's gonna keep you in a sense of peace. And that's what I've noticed with me. Like, yeah, there be situations that may get me frustrated, but after a while I'm like, eh. I'm like I was talking to my uncle who's a pastor. I had a couple conversations where it's just they were just wacky, like just what the heck? And I'm like, they didn't bother me like they would have last year or the year before. And I've realized that I'm starting to focus more on Christ and less on the things around me. Like, yeah, there are steps I got to take, there are things I got to work on to continue to be the man that He has called me, created me, and chosen me to be. But if I seek Him each and every day and carve out time to be with Him, like man, He's going to pour into me because I'm no longer just flooding stuff that isn't helping me into my soul and spirit. I'm flooding Him into me, you know. Um, and it's crazy because people will look at me and be like, "Oh, you just reading it like it's a religious thing."
Like it's a book. Like it's
Yeah,
just like any book.
right. And it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Not at
It,
all.
it's literally the basic instructions before leaving Earth. And people don't realize it. They think it's a game. They think it's a joke. But when certain happenings happen, they gonna realize that the Bible wasn't a fairy tale. You know,
Not at all.
like God literally has saved me multiple times. I literally, without God, I would not be here at all. I would not be here. So in His Word, and I literally told this to God like a couple, like last week. I was like, God, your word really is true.
Hmm.
And I was like, because you said in your word, train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. And I'm like, I've had times where I was young, wild, and free. I was smoking, I was drinking, I was having sex, you know, but I came back.
Came right back.
There was times where I was suicidal. I wasn't looking at your word, but that time where my former stepmother, stepbrother, and stepsister were mentally, physically, emotionally, and verbally abusing me, I put up Psalms 23 above my bed. I came back. I came back to you every time. You can't tell me God ain't real.
Come on, bro.
You can't tell me that because He's literally in me. His word has literally been proven in my life,
Yeah, man.
and I'm happy that I'm maybe just a guest here, but even in my job, like there was a whole period where my co-teacher wasn't here. And I ended up having a whole preaching session to these sixth graders. I
Hmm.
gave them a whole sermon. And I was like, I'm not just here to teach you about this cotton picking math. No, I'm here to teach you about life
Hmm.
because you are the future. They were asking questions like, can you go to heaven and be gay and whatnot? Like, I'm just like, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Gotta tell them
God
the truth,
don't
man.
want that for you.
Nope.
That's your active choice. Like one young
You
lady was
can't.
like, she was
No,
like literally, yo, but God want us happy and whatnot. I'm like, it's not about you being happy.
not at all.
God made man and woman to reproduce and to be together as one.
Period.
You choose who you like. God didn't make you to be with another woman. He made you to be with a man. Now, granted, you may end up single because not everyone gets married,
Yep.
but you have to make the active choice to follow. then the last thing before I end it, because I know I'm a little long winded, but
Nah, brother,
girl
take your time.
asked, a girl raised
Yeah.
her hand. She was like, what if you're like a lesbian and whatnot? Like, do you think God still loves you? And I was like, yeah, He loves you, but repent,
Yeah,
repent,
everything
and
is love and
change your
light.
ways,
Mm-hmm.
because God is coming back soon, and He's not coming back as the lamb. He's coming back as the lion.
Sword. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Man, brother, I gotta say this, man. Y'all have no idea how refreshing it is to be able to be uh just because we're dealing with numbers older than you guys, but to be able to listen to you gentlemen at your ages and at your stages of life speak the way you speak. It is beyond refreshing because, like I said, if I got you double your age, Anthony, and I have you knocking at 20, Rowan, man, so much of life that's lived within those two plus decades of my age, older than you guys, going in and out of the different things of what you both gentlemen have shared about what it was or what it is that is your therapy. It was refreshing, Roman, to hear you say it because, and I'm gonna come right back to you, Anthony, in reference to your faith, in reference to your relationship with God, because it's a relationship. That's
Mm-hmm.
the other thing people miss. This is about a
Yep.
relationship,
Yep.
and that at the end of the day, the only refilling and the only pouring back in that anybody needs, no matter if they believe or know it or not, they need to know it, right? Prayerfully, they come to know it, but it can only come from our Heavenly Father, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So I thank you for saying that. Now, Anthony, to you, I appreciate you that you said to the many different things of what you do in regards to taking a ride, gaming, because I'm not a gamer, but what it is that you saved me on that one, because I was over here like, what do I do? But when you said it, it made me think about it. I was like, you know what I do? Because my wife just got on me the other day. I'm up. I'm a night owl. So I'm up on YouTube and I'm watching just whatever sometimes. And when I say whatever, meaning just things that provide me opportunity to laugh because
Mm-hmm.
life is heavy. Not heavy like it's unbearable because because at the end of the day, the Lord equips us. As long as we go to Him for the strength. Let me say that. Let me not
Amen.
say He equips us just period. He equips those that know that He is the only way that we can actually become equipped. But with that being said, when you said in regards to the things that you do, you take me back down memory lane of the things that I've done from y'all age to my age and that I still do. Trust me, I take rides. I'll share with you one thing that I do actually now. So my contribution to the question is going to be, um, I ride in silence. So where for years the radio was always, the closest thing that I could have if I'm in the car by myself, to have something going on. But probably for the past, definitely 7 years, I now listen to the radio again, and I'll share with you all real quick. And this is going to be my contribution to this. But what I have come to find out of why I feel like the Lord took me through a period of life of where the radio had to be cut off was because I was still compromising and listening to secular music and listening to it in a way of where, because music has always and had always, let me correct myself, been my sibling because I'm an only child, right? So that was always my go-to. But he brought me to a place of where, through many different times of going through that tug of war, to a place of where it became silent. And in that period of silence, of riding with no music, since our relocation, because we now live in Texas, and I'm originally from Maryland, um, what I find such great joy in is I listen to more of religious and spiritual broadcasts. Meaning, I love to listen to sermons. I love to listen to pastors just talking, and whatever the talk radio is. Because down here in the Bible Belt, man, it's stations for days. That's what I listen to. So when you ask the question about what do we do, as our form of therapy, I would have to say is that, and that's something that is continuous with my time I spend in the Word, but it's the trying my best to make as much of a higher percentage of what it is that my spirit and my soul receives is His Word. Because without it, we're malnourished. Let's be real. So if we want to be healthy, if we want to be whole, and especially if we know better, that's another thing. We have to get back to what the source is. So that's why, and to kind of bring it to a close from my end, I appreciate the both of you gentlemen sharing what you both share, because all of what we shared is paramount for us to do, and for us to have as an what intersects our lives. Because the older y'all get, trust me, like I told you, I'm married with 5 children, right? 23 years, right? And life is a journey. And I like the fact that, Roman, you said it. Everybody's not meant to be married. So there will be some people that will be single. But whatever it is that becomes your life, become intentional on wanting to be present in it,
Mhm.
wanting to be able to figure out what is it that you need to do to remain healthy and whole. But also know that in the moments and in the times of when you're not, what is your go-to? Is it a ride down 495 or 295? What you say? Would you say, Anthony? Right? Is it
Oh
gaming?
yeah, DC
DC
295.
295, right? Is it Roman,
Yeah.
like you said? Is it being in the Word and making sure that the Word is nourishing you and that the Lord's arms are wrapped around you? That's number one. But making sure that it's something that you do that is refilling and refueling you, not taking away from you. Because
Right.
life is going to do that enough.
Yep.
It's
We
going to
need
do that
to, we
enough.
need to add to
Trust
it.
me. and in more ways than you yet to even envision, it's going to do it. Because when you start hitting those ages and those stages of life where you're like, man, I did not know life moves this fast. I'm 40, you know what I mean? Like, or I'm 35, because I know y'all haven't even hit 30, 35 yet. But if you get what I'm saying, so it's in those times where you have to make sure that you're knowing how to push the pause button. As I like to say, reset, recalibrate, refuel, refocus, become reformed, and get going. And get going. Get to moving. Put some traction. You know what I mean? Make sure that dirt looks like it's something that you've been moving through, not just standing still. Because life does have a way of where it can feel like quicksand. If you're not steadily moving, you will find yourself sinking.
Hmm.
So just a little
And
something to drop.
those are powerful words, Oren. When I tell you, um, for this men's mental health awareness episode, I definitely wanted to dive deeper into this,
Hmm.
but we're gonna put a pin in this conversation, and everybody's gonna have to come back next week, Tuesday at 9:30, just so we can continue this conversation. Hopefully with some more guests, hopefully with more viewers. People still come in, flood the comments, put in their opinions. We can talk real thoughts, we can talk real opinions. So we're actually going to gloss over the final words because why should we get final words when they come back anyway?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? So
The
for all of
conversation is
that,
just
I
beginning.
hope
Yeah.
exactly this is an age long conversation that everyone talks about, but no one really talks about
No.
it.
Mhm,
People
I like
just
that.
say, "Oh, here's men's mental health," yada yada yada, and just do straight facts. First of all, are you somebody that actually deal with mental health? Do
Yeah.
people care what you're saying? Do people care about this? What do you do for self care? What do you do for this? What do you do for this? A lot of men don't understand what it is, but in their daily lives, they're doing it.
Hmm.
They may do something they really like. They may do something they really hate. But I want to end this. Please, everyone, come back for next Tuesday, November 4th, when it is actually Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we will redo this episode for an episode 2. More questions, more panelists, more fun here at Real Thoughts and Conversations. Um, I want to end this show just by saying check up on somebody,
Yeah.
friend, male coworker, father, stepbrother, brother, whatever, whoever it is, check on them, see what's up, see what they're doing, and just get their mental. You really need to make sure where they are mentally and
Yeah.
actually listen. Actually listen to what they're saying. Don't just gloss over it. That shows you don't care.
Yeah.
Ask them the question, be genuine about it, and I promise you, you may save that person one day. Because one
Yeah.
day they may snap and they will remember you and they'll come back to normal. This
That's real.
person remembered me. This person cared about me. So be that person. All
Well
right.
said.
Everyone have a great night. Have a blessed night. And I hope to see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace out, guys. Yeah.